Let me in there. Let me in there. Okay. Okay. I don't know what. Good morning. What we're doing here, it's about 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and what we're doing is rotating cattle. One of the key tenets of what we do is rotational grazing. Rotational grazing is good for the cattle and it's good for the land, and I'll tell you why. Number one, the cattle get fresh grass every day. Number two, the land gets to rest. And so if you'll pan around a little bit, this farm we bought about 5 or 6 years ago, and when we first bought this farm, it was all blackberries and honey locust. And so anybody east of the Mississippi or in the dirty South knows what honey locust and blackberries look like. And so this farm has no topsoil, none, very little. And so what we do is we rotate these cows. We've divided this farm up into several different paddocks with 2-strand high tensile fence, and we'll move the cows from one paddock to the next. And we've got enough paddocks and we've got a long enough rotation that the cows will come into a paddock like this and they'll graze for 2 days, and then we'll move them out, and then cattle don't come back to this paddock on this side, on this part of our farm. They won't come back to this paddock for about 40 to 50 days. And so what that does is that allows this grass to grow back. So like where we're standing right now, the cattle have not been here for about 30 days, and you can see that there's some good undergrowth coming back. We've got some red clover. You'll see a lot of stemmy stuff here. This is fescue, tall fescue. I've not bush hogged this off or mowed this off. The main reason is, like I said earlier, this farm has no topsoil, and so whenever it turns hot and dry in the summer, if we don't carefully manage the forage height, the sun beats down on the ground and dries the ground out, and then all the grass dies. And so I purposely not bush hog this off because of that reason. But anyway, that's what we're doing today. It's not that difficult. It takes 20 or 30 minutes to move a couple hundred head of cattle for the various paddocks we've got in various groups. So that's what we're doing. We're doing it at this time because, just like me, cows don't want to get out in the heat of the day. And so right now the cattle we're going to move are out there, and they can hear us. They're bellowing, but they're ready to move. But they graze early in the morning and they'll graze late at night. And so you want to time your moves when the cows are out actively grazing, because in the heat of the day, when they're in the shade laying down ruminating, you're going to fight them to try to get up and get them to move anywhere. They're not going to want to move. So you do it early in the day or last thing in the evening.
Having slight difficulties. They don't want to come. They're a little shy this morning. There they come. Come on, let's go. They figured it out now. Cows like the sound of the gator, so they tend to follow the gator. So there they are, following. Moving cows is basically a giant game of follow the leader. So you want to make sure you're the leader and not another cow and she takes them in the wrong direction. Another key factor of moving cows is you never want them to stop and think about where they're going. Because if they stop and think about it, then they're probably going to change directions. But if you just keep them moving, then they'll just blindly follow you. They're still coming. Keep them moving. You got someone leading them, and then you got someone behind them pushing them, making sure they don't stop. back there. He's walking behind them. We're up front leading them. And we're getting it done. Once you get to a certain point, they kind of know where they're going and they will take the lead. Good morning. Good morning. They get excited. And then through this gate, oh my God, you scared me. Well, you're on the wrong side of the fence. How'd you get over there? How the hell did you get, how'd you get over there?
What was open?
That gate right down there. I was weed eating in there, running down through here, and I looked around and the gate was wide open. I jumped in the gator and they were coming through.
Really?
I stopped them just in time. They run down and was coming right out.
Them double gates we just went through?
Yes.
Wow. I'm good for a gate now.
You're gonna have to learn to do a little bit better. Hi, I'm
Well.
sorry. Hello.
Whenever I grow up, maybe. I'm only 51.
Get your strong hand.
Put those posts, Riley, put them over at the rest of them.
Okay. My favorite thing to do is loop as many people as I can into doing my chores with me. And my chores are feeding buckets of corn. So today I have hooked Jesse and I have hooked my father into feeding corn with me.
This is the same morning. We're standing in a paddock now that is on the home farm, the home place. This land's been in my family for over 50 years. And I want to show you the difference. When I was talking earlier, how that ground doesn't grow any pasture, doesn't grow any grass, or it's very slow to grow grass because of the lack of moisture, because of the lack of topsoil. I want to show you the difference. This is a paddock that we're going to be moving cows into in the next day or two, and it has had about 40 days rest, and you can see the difference in the forage versus what we had last time. Yeah, we've got a little bit of chicory, that's okay, but we've got red clover, we've got brome, we've got fescue, we've got orchard grass. It's a salad bar for cattle. We don't use any pesticides, we don't use any herbicides, we don't use any artificial fertilizers on our pastures, nothing. So what you see, the fertility and the growth that you see, is strictly from the management practices that we do. So.
3 days later.
Come on, girl! Come on, girl! Come on, girl! Seriously? Come on, girl! Here they go.
Let's go. Oh, let's go. Come on. Let's go. It's another day. This isn't the same group that we moved the other day. Oh no. I see y'all. Look at it.
See how we took them cattle out of here, and see how much we left on the ground and how they've trampled it down. So what you don't see is any exposed bare soil. And so what that's doing is that helps hold what moisture there is in the ground so it doesn't evaporate away, because we're in a pretty bad dry spell right now. So the moisture, all the moisture we can preserve, the better off we are. So.
Are you thirsty, Floyd? Come here. Oh!
What in the world?
It just
broke.
It just broke.
Well, we'll have to come back and fix that.
Good thing you just moved him out of there.
We're going over here. It's been about 40 days since there's been cattle in this paddock, and so what I always do is I make sure that the water in the water, I clean it out, make sure the water's clean, that they have good fresh water to drink. So that's what we're doing. So this water is well water. We've got a well on the other side of the road, and we've got underground water lines that go to all our paddocks. And so that's what these cattle get is well water. Fresh, cool, clean. And all I do is, whenever we move them into a new paddock, make sure to drain the water that's in the water, drain it out. Because it's been in here for, like I said, 40 days. And then make it sure it fills up with clean water. And that does two things. It gives them clean water and verifies that there's not an issue with the water line going to this well or going to this water, because especially this time of year, cattle drink a lot of water. Like that cow right there will drink probably 20 gallons of water a day, one cow. And so there's 30 pairs in this group, and so that's 600 gallons of water a day. That's a lot of water. I come over here to make sure that this water, the water level in this water is set correctly. You see it's got these balls, and you want the balls not to be up tight against the lid, but you don't want the water level to be so far down that the cattle, the mamas, or especially the babies, can't get down there to get some water. So there's a float valve mechanism in here that's very similar to a float valve in your toilet tank on the back of your toilet, and you've got to sometimes take a set of pliers and you can adjust it to set the water level. But the water's still running and it's not, so I think it's going to be okay. Get that over. Come on. There we go. I think it'll be all right. I thought I was going to have to adjust it, but I don't think so. I like these waters because these blue balls, you can drive along and you can see whether there's water in this water from a distance, because these balls, if it's set right, these balls will be sticking up above this black lid and you can see it from a distance. So I like these for that. There's downsides to this style of water, but the float valve mechanism is not the best in the world, but I like being able to see from a distance whether cattle have water or not, so that's why we use these.
Running low on gas. Gotta get more gas.
This thing will run all week on that little bit of diesel fuel. That's why I like these things. They're easy on fuel, and we keep fuel at the farm, so it's pretty handy.
We stay stocked.
Where's old Butter? There's Butter, man. There's Honey. There you go. Yeah. They're barn cats for a reason. This is an old Burley tobacco barn. Probably built in the early 70s, so fairly new as far as tobacco barns go. If you look at the top, you see those kind of rafters, or actually they're called tier poles, that run this way. So Burley tobacco, you would hang the tobacco in this barn upside down on sticks and cure it in this barn, and then you'd pull the leaves off and sell. We don't raise Burley tobacco, so what I've done is I've converted this barn to store hay in, so I've taken most of the tier poles out of it so that I can have...
No! Leave the cats alone!
So that
Get up here!
Boy! So that I can store hay in here. So there's 3 runs that hold about 60 rolls apiece in each run, and then this other run here on this side is a little bit wider. It holds about 100 rolls, so about 250 rolls of hay is what we can hold in here, which is plenty for the cattle that I feed out of this barn. So anyway, on to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a jailbreak. They moved themselves. So
This is the group we moved the other day.
yeah, they moved to the next paddock on their own.
We put them over there the other day. Now they're here.
We don't encourage that behavior, but sometimes it happens.
We just filled up some buckets to feed the heifers and the steers. We're pulling the heifers' boats behind us because when the other cow's shells broke the other day, they broke into with the heifers. And so we didn't get the chance to move the boats when the heifers got moved.
Get up on that gator.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Hello.
So these are heifers that we've kept as to replace either cows in our herd, or sometimes we'll sell bred replacement heifers to other cattle producers. But these are heifers whose genetics and phenotypical traits, or phenotype traits, what they look like, they grade to be good enough to keep to perpetuate those genes. So they're going to make good mama cows for us or somebody. And we've got a bull in here somewhere. I guess he decided he didn't want his ice cream today.
Over here at the beefs now. The beefs are exactly what they sound like. Beefs.
Oh, hit you right in the face.
There's most of the time the beefs are going to be steers. Steers are male cows that have been castrated. Is that the right word? Castrated?
Castrated. Yep.
Yep. Sometimes I know. Want them to be nice and fat and well fed.
Third bowl of ice cream for the day.